Hello, I'm Finn Garner. This is my Python programming final project. So I'm gonna go over it today and then test it out a little bit, show what it can do. So I made a interactive blackjack game where the user plays against a dealer. And so to start this off, I import random because that helps me choose a random card. I have two decks here. They're both in dictionary form, so the name of the card corresponds to its value. Like 8 equals 8. The number always equals the number. Face cards are equal to 10. And then I have a second deck because when cards get dealt, I have to use the pop method to remove them from the first deck. So this deck is here. If the user wants to keep playing, I need something to make a copy of and reset the deck. So that's why there's two. Then come on down to the main function. So to start off the game, I ask the user for some input if they've played blackjack. Do they know how to play? Yes or no? If they say no, I display a short paragraph of rules to let them know what they're doing. If they say yes, then great, let's play blackjack. Now the rest of the main function is in a while loop because if the user wants to continue playing, they can go for as many hands as they want. Like the program's designed for them to be able to play as long as they want, like sit down at a table and continue playing. So as long as they say yes to do you want to keep playing, this while loop will always remain true. And so inside the loop, the deck gets set, tell them we're dealing the cards, and then the first function gets called, which is the deal card function. And in blackjack, each player gets two cards to start out. So each time the deal card function is called, one card from the deck gets sent to the user's hand. And this is in a list form. And we will add more cards to the list if they continue asking for cards. So the function gets called four times, two times for each player, two cards. So to the let's go to the deal card function. So this is pretty simple. Card equals This card deals cards to each player and then removes the cards from the deck. So you get the keys in list form and then choose a random choice from that list and then make sure that card can't get dealt again. So you remove the card with the pop method and then return card, and that gets returned right to here and puts it in the user's hand, and then it does it again for the user and then twice more for the dealer. Then next, we display one card from the dealer's first card, because that's how blackjack works. You're always able to see one of the dealer's cards to know kind of where you're at. Then it's the user's turn because the user always goes before the dealer, or the player always goes before the dealer. So we call the user turn function, passing the argument user hand, which is the list of their cards. So in user turn, this is probably my most complicated function. This tells the user their total and asks if they want to hit or stand. In blackjack, you always have a decision whether you ask for another card or you stay at what you're at. So while true, this is again, while loop is needed because the user could ask to hit for multiple times if they want multiple cards. Immediately, the hand total function is called. I'll get to that. But we print what their hand is and tell them what cards are in their hand using this loop. And the loop looks kind of complicated, but it's designed to print each element of the list individually instead of like printing it out with commas and parentheses. And then their total is printed, the total of their hand. So if their score is greater than 21, that means they busted. And that would break out of the loop and break out of the program and end the loop, and then this function would be done. But if they aren't if they aren't greater than 21, meaning they can still ask for cards, then we ask for some input. The choice is would you like to hit or stand? So H or S. If they say hit, a new card is dealt using the deal card function. You add that card to the list of user hand using the append method, and new card is the argument that gets passed into that hand. Um, Print what card they got so they know what they drew, what their hand value is now. If they don't want to draw a card, meaning they chose stand and typed S, then this loop is done because they don't want any more cards. If they didn't enter H or S, validate the input, tell them, please enter H or S, please say hit or stand. So now back to the main function. So that's user turn. Now this function hand total tells the user how like the value of their hand, because in blackjack the cards are added up. So face cards are worth 10, aces are 1 or 11, and then every other card is just worth its hand value. So so hand total, this function uses the name of the card to look up its value in the dictionary. So this is what the kind of the backup dictionary is for. We have the ace count here because aces matter if they're worth 1 or 11, and the total variable is the total of the hand. So for card in hand, value equals deck backup, index that card. So when you index that card's name, it returns the value of that card, and that would be stored in this variable. So if the card was a king, then it would be stored in this value variable, and the number would be 10. The value would be 10. Total plus equals value. So you add the value to, or add the value to the total of their hand. But in blackjack, aces can be worth 1 or 11. So if ace is in card, then add to the ace count. And while the total is greater than or equal to 11 and ace count is greater than 1, you add you can add 10 to the total because they're not over, like they can still fit 11 in their hand, but if they're more than 11, then it has to be 1 or else it would make them bust. And at the end it returns the total of their hand. So when you call hand total function, it's called here, it's called in the user turn function. It just displays what the total of their hand is to let them know their score. Now, dealer turn is very similar to user turn. It's just the dealer's turn is automated without input. The dealer hand is passed to dealer turn as an argument. So at when the dealer's turn comes, they reveal their second card because that still hasn't been shown because the user was going. Now, is while the hand total of the dealer's hand is less than 17, they have to hit. The dealer always has to hit when they're below 17. That's a rule of blackjack. So new card equals deal card. Then the new card is added to their hand. Print the new card, display it so the user can see it, then call the total to see what the dealer's at now. This is the same loop as user hand. It prints each card in the dealer's hand, and then total, which was the hand total, print the dealer's total. If the dealer went above 21, then display that the dealer busted, or else they, depending on what their score is, they stay in the loop and have to keep drawing cards. Now back to main. So the final function is the show results function. The user hand and dealer hand list is passed to this function as arguments because now we have to compare them and see who won. So show results displays the final results of the round. So hand total is called again to get the final total of each hand. And these lists are full now with however many cards each player has drawn. So display final result, display the user total, display the dealer total. And this is a list of each outcome that can happen. So if the user went above 21, that means they busted and lost. If they didn't go above 21, but the dealer went above 21, that means the dealer busted and the user won. If the user's total is within 21 and it is greater than the dealer's total, meaning they have a higher score than the dealer, then they win. If it's the other way, then the dealer wins. Else, which would mean they have the same exact score, that would mean it's a tie. So the very last part of the main function is to ask the user if they would like to play again. If not, thank them, exit the loop, tell them thanks for playing, and the game's over. So again equals input. Would you like to play again? Ask for yes or no. If again doesn't equal Y or yes, or they don't indicate they want to play again, thanks for playing. Break out of the main function, and that would effectively end the program. And if they do say yes, you go back to the top of, if they do say yes, it comes back to the top of the loop. The reset deck gets called, and that uses the deck backup to make another copy of the deck. It basically resets the deck, adding all the cards back in, the cards that got removed. We have to reset to make sure we have a full deck again. And I need the global keyword to make the deck a global variable so it can be accessed by multiple functions. Down here, we call the main function, and that kind of starts the whole program. So now we're gonna test it out because that was a lot, but I want to show what it actually does because it looks much simpler once it's ran. Save. So now I've saved the program and I'm running it. This is in the shell. So it starts off, ask the rules of Blackjack. Let's say it's our first time playing, we don't know. So we say no. The rules are printed out. You can read them if you don't know how to play. And dealer's hand shows the six of clubs because he only shows one card. We have 16, so let's say we stay on 16. We stand, dealer shows his second card, draws one. So now he has three cards, 6, 9, 2. Total is 17. Dealer has more than us, so dealer wins. We want to play again? Yes. Um, Dealer shows Jack. We have 11, hit on 11. We have drew the ace, so that was only one. So hit again. 17. Let's stay on 17. Dealer revealed a 3. He drew, got the queen. Dealer hit 23. Dealer busted, so we win. Show a couple more rounds. He shows a 6. We have 8. We'll hit on that. We have 15. Hit again. We busted. We busted, so dealer automatically wins. As you can see, each time the list is printed out, it displays each card in my hand. I drew the 7, then I drew the 10. My final hand has all 4 cards in it. Let's do a few more rounds, get one more win. Deal the cards, we have 10, hit on 10. For 3, let's hit again. We busted. Dealer 1. Dealer has 10, we have 13, we hit. We have the ace, let's hit again. Been busting a lot, huh? But let's try and get one more win. 10, stay on 20, hit S. Dealer shows a 7, can't draw anymore. We have 20, he has 18, we win. Say no, we close out. Thanks for playing, and that's that. Now, and that's pretty much the game. In this program, I used a lot of different stuff that we've learned, like functions, dictionaries, lists, the random module, input validation, indexing lists, string methods, like passing arguments into a function, Boolean logic, simple loops, while loops, returning a value, a ton of different stuff. I tried to represent all the different things that we've learned and talked about throughout the course. And yeah, I hope you like the game. Thank you.